Hello guys, and in today's video we'll take a look at the TESAK 2 months after the update. Some people said that this tank would be completely overpowered because the clip potential of the HE shells was just too huge, but there was of course another group that said that this tank would be completely dogshit because of its inability to play well in the battles. And to find out this, we have to look on the statistics on the EU server. So as we can see here, the TESAK is one of the worst rated tanks in the tier 10. Players managed to do only 850 damage per battle with 47.5% of win ratio. So this is one of the worst statistics on the tier 10s. Overall, the damage is not even 1000. And why is that? So first of all, it's because this tank is definitely hard to play. You have the magazine, which is definitely going to do a lot of damage, but of course it has low penetration and you have to just wait 4 seconds to clip the whole enemy team. And with that it's hard to get into position and try to flank the enemies. But as we can see here, I tried something different here. Playing on the El Haluf, I didn't want to spot because from this side you cannot really spot much, and also spotting on the El Haluf isn't that important. There isn't just much to spot if the enemies don't do any mistake. So now we are trying to play this aggressive position, which sometimes works just perfectly fine. As you can see here, you can punish those guys who will not watch out and try to peek around this hill here. And thanks to that, this Conqueror didn't even thought that we can't be here, and thanks for our support to our team, he got absolutely smacked for going out here. He's almost now dead, and that is just thanks to us. Now another volley. As you can see, the magazine is definitely able to do some of damage. Definitely 2 magazines which have only 13 seconds of the reload time, and we have 1,500 damage done almost. And that is the ability of this tank. If you play correctly, if you get into a position where you can see the side of the enemies, you can just completely annihilate them, even if you don't use the HEs. As you can see, Minotaur again got absolutely smacked, 500 damage. Any other light tank couldn't be able to do that. Even the 105 has only 3 shots and 1200 damage per magazine, and that is with 24 seconds reload. So that is the power of the TESAK. Of course it's hard to exploit it, because you have to just know when the enemies are out of the shells. As you can see, I managed now to hit the Super Conqueror also for 400 damage because he didn't look at me, and I think he shot earlier. So now, thanks to us of course as well, because we managed to destroy almost the Conqueror and the Minotaur, we are winning this flank. Unfortunately, because we weren't on the right side, we lost it, but I think even with the Carro and Lion pushing, if we were there, we will just lose it anyway. So now we have to push as fast as possible. I know that nobody will take a shell from the 60 TP, so I try to bait him out, but unfortunately he hits me and I do only 130 damage to him. But it was needed for our team to get the balls and try to push in. Now I try to flank the E5, unfortunately he hides, and that is the main drawback of this tank. If the enemy is just looking at you, you cannot do almost anything. Even with that, we did only 270 damage to him. And we have long reload time because we have to fire the shells, which goes for 4 seconds, and also we have to reload the magazine, which is also another 13 seconds. So that is probably why the people that are playing this tank are struggling as much, because as we can see there on the side, almost all of the light tanks are doing badly if they are damage light tanks. So the TESAK, the Remo Panzerwagen, and many others. Sheridan is also underwhelming, but I think that it is just because of those light tanks main attribute, which is doing damage and not spotting. Because of course you can spot with TESAK, it isn't like a huge vehicle like the tier 8 and the tier 9, but you aren't going to be able to fight well against something like the Manticore or even the T100 LT. But now let's focus on the battle. As you can see, even though we did 3000 damage already, we are winning not by much because it's 7-5. And now we can see the FV pushing here, but this is the biggest advantage of this tank. Even though we didn't manage to perfectly shoot the FV, we managed to do almost 1000 damage to him, 904 I think, and that is the real strength of this tank. The HE shells on most of the tanks do about 20% damage more, but on this tank you do twice as much. So if you manage to find something lightly armored or something's ass, you can just completely destroy the enemy. Gorillas, the FVs, even some medium tanks, side or the back, you can just absolutely annihilate them. And as you can see here, the FV did want to peek. Unfortunately he killed our Bachat, but even though we didn't manage to hit the half of the magazine, we completely destroyed him. So now the battle is still close. Unfortunately our TDs on our top aren't doing that much. The Guerrilla fortunately died here, but the enemies have definitely strong position. This Vickers we cannot do anything to him because he has such a strong position. Now this guy is just playing too aggressively. Our Manticore also died, so both tanks here died, and I know that I have to watch out because of this Manticore being on full HP. The Vickers will probably go also after me, and this battle will be just hard to win. So I'm trying to go back, maybe to surprise this Manticore, maybe shell him with some HEs, because the Manticore also doesn't have that much armor, so even with one clip of the HEs I will be able to destroy him, but unfortunately he outspots me somehow. And now I'm in bad position because the Vickers is probably going after me. The Manticore will try to rush me, so I will plan to just trade with him. I will try to take maybe one shot, maybe survive if I am lucky, and do as much damage to him, because I think that my team should be able to win this battle. They have more HP, they have more tanks. And now, yeah, as you can see, the Manticore is going after me. Even though I'm using auto-aim here and not all shots hit. 1000 damage to Manticore, 200 damage to the Vickers. He unfortunately went after me. And that means that we have 6000 damage with the TESAK. So definitely not many light tanks can do that. Of course, on this map like El Haluf, you can definitely do much damage. The play of mine was definitely original because this position isn't used that often. And let's see what did our allies do. So as you can see on the leaderboard, unfortunately we didn't manage to win this battle. The enemies did manage to come back, and the Manticore and Vickers carried their enemy team to the victory. And even though I did the top damage, and as you can see here on the scoreboard, I did so much, 6100 damage, we still lost, but unfortunately that just sometimes happens. And now we have the second battle. As you can see, the map is a Redshire, no artists, and the plan is to try and spot maybe something somewhere around here, and of course with this clip maybe shoot someone in the back or the side, because with this clip you can just do so much. So as we can see here, the ABR of the enemies is here, and he does mistake. He goes into the tree, which is of course indestructible, and he pays for it. 1300 damage. As you can see here, if the enemy's light tanks will do mistake before you, you can absolutely destroy them. And that is the power of the TESAK. And with the TESAK, of course, you have to just try and shoot the enemy in the side if he doesn't look at you. So for example, as you can see, this guy, I don't even have to go into the sniper mode, minus 1000 damage, because he just didn't look at me. And that is how you try to use the TESAK. Because many players just go YOLO, go do one magazine, and that is why the damage per battle with this tank is so low. Even though I think that this tank is definitely one of my favorite light tanks, because of this clip, it's just so fun to play with. And even though it's not that good, I wouldn't say that it's bad either. This clip just definitely can do so much here. So now I'm using the APCRs here because I wanted to shoot at the 705, but the projectile just peeked behind the hill here, so I shot him for 200 damage. Not much, but always something. And now the plan is to just wait. We can't just go anywhere else. Maybe we could go for the T100 LT, but spotting here doesn't really work, because I can just go YOLO and try to spot something, but I will die. We can try and go castle, but there is just not much we can do here. I'm trying to shoot the 105 with HEs, because yeah, maybe I will hit something. I did, I think, 100 damage to him, so not that much, but who knows, maybe it will do something in the long run. But now, as you can see here, the EBR is pushing up, so I will try and help him. The 705 doesn't have the dispersion to hit me, so I shot him for some damage. And that is why the people definitely struggle with this tank, because sometimes, like here, you can't do much of anything and you have to just wait. And that is the most important in any vehicle, and definitely in those that are tricky to play with. You just have to know when to do, don't just do anything. As you can see, our team managed to win the left side. We should surely win this battle. And now the plan is to try to push up with them through the water, because the water gives you cover. You are in the ditch and you can, thanks to that, push middle. And that was the plan. I'm going now for it. I could maybe go for it a little bit earlier, but better late than never. We are going through the field, taking some spotting. And now the plan is to find someone who will show side at us. So the plan is to go for the 705 and the Action X, because they are isolated in the middle, and you need to look for those isolated targets that just cannot defend against you. So as you can see here, even though I take one shot, I don't really care. I end the Centurion Action X, and now I just plow through the 705, 500 damage to him, and that's basically the battle. Of course, in the TESAK, at the end, you can do also much damage with those magazines. Definitely big potential. Now we will go for the projectile. Unfortunately, he died, so now we are shooting and even moving, because with this gun you can shoot and move. You will not hit much, but you will hit, because you just have 75 shots in the clip. And yeah, we are now going for the Manticore. Some damage went in. We managed even to trigger the communication expert, so definitely you can spot something. We didn't even try to spot in this game, but still we did spot some damage, and that is basically how to play with the light tank that are for doing damage. 4000 we have damage and 1000 spotting, 3 kills. Definitely nice battle from our side. And yeah, now let's look at the score. And as you can see here, we were top by the damage, top by the XP. We managed to win 15-5, so definitely a nice battle. And that is basically how you want to play with the TESAK. It's of course extremely fun to play with, and if you play with it well, you also can do extremely well. And now for my setup. So as you can see, I have on the first slot ventilation, stabilizer and the optics to spot something, stabilizer to have better dispersion while moving. I think that you can also take maybe improved aiming or enhanced gun system, but I didn't test it out really, so I can't really tell. And ventilation, just the best equipment on light tanks most of the time if you want to go for damage. And I don't have second slot but because I unfortunately didn't unlock it yet, but if I would have it, of course you have to take the exhaust system, the CVS and also the optics, which are here. Definitely the standard setup, nothing fancy. Now for the crew. So of course concealment, take it first, then coordination, then maybe I would say, I think brothers in arms, maybe then repairs, yeah, and then recon. Bonus perks, definitely crew efficiency bonus, first or second, and first or second, situational awareness for more view range. And then I took the signal interception, because if you are spotted faster, that can save you a life sometimes. Now for the gunner with loader, of course concealment, then I would say maybe armorer, then brothers in arms, snapshot and repairs. Bonus perks, ammo tuning, if it works and it isn't bugged out, it can improve your damage output by 8%. As you can see here, I have 13 base damage, even though you have only 12, because it increases your minimal potential damage by 2%, but on those Czech light tanks, it just calculates into the above, so as you can see, it gives us only 1 damage, but this 1 damage just gives us like 8% more of the DPM and the damage per the shell. And of course intuition, even better than this one, because you use all the shells on those tanks. And on the last I have perfect charge. On the driver I have concealment, brothers in arms, smooth ride, reliable placement and off-road drawing. I don't think that this is that necessary, maybe repairs, but there isn't much you can take here. So yeah, for the shells, definitely you have to have at least 3 clips of the HE shells. I don't use that much of the APCR shells and many standard shells, because you will be firing them mainly. So thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, you can definitely like and subscribe, and yeah, see you next time.